Starting to get in here, a few of you. How's everybody today? Hong oats. Oh my Heber, it's like almost lunch here. Oh. Alright, we got a few in here now. Yeah, it's good evening there. It's like 12 hours difference from here. Dan, what's happening? Hello, hello. All right, nothing exciting here today. I'm just going to kind of, is my pen done yet? I'm going to have to block you, Louise. Oh my God. Nothing exciting here. I'm just going to walk you through, it is ebony. I'm going to walk you through how I do a custom order. I know, many of you don't, well, a lot of you have seen this side of it, but what it, and how I deal with doing the custom orders. It's something not everybody does because it's a pain. It's a good pain. I like talking to everybody, but there's lots of email and stuff involved, and lots of discussions and how it's done. So what I'm going to do is kind of show you the way I work. This is the basic. I just rounded off this piece of ebony, and I work off of printed off sheets like this. I covered the person's name up. So this is their custom order, and I have like a list of all the details: right hand oblique, ebony, profile of the attached image. So then I print it out and attach it to a piece of paper and hang it in front of me. Dimensions, what flange, etc., etc., etc. Price isn't always on there. I don't know why it's on this one. I do that, and sometimes it involves drawings, so I thought you might like to see that. These are a couple drawings I did, for custom design theme pen holders. Like this person, these are ones that never went through. This was a Mary Poppins theme, so I had I came up with the idea and put the type, her blouse, her jacket and blouse, buttons and everything in it, and thought it happened, whatever. Hello Kitty themed. So I'll do that sometimes too. So it's not a quick process by any means. I spend a lot of times. I mean, there's times when a email back and forth can be 100 replies deep. So you got to really like what you're doing because I spend a lot of time in email. So, all right. So all I'm going to do now is show you how I take those dimensions and everything I showed here and translate them into a pen. So the first thing I did was, I know that this is going to be 17/32 in diameter, so I set a caliper to that, and I turn it until I'm overall 17/32 in diameter. Okay, once I do that, I usually have my second caliper set up for the grip size. So this will go where the grip area is, and you'll see how I form that. And I'm just going to work off of that and off the profile picture that I have here, which is this shape. That's the shape I'm going to be doing on this pen. This is from my gallery. That's usually what people do, is show me the shape from my gallery. So I'm going to start up the lathe here in a second, and it might be a little loud. I don't know how it translates on the other end because I've never heard it really from my own. So you might want to watch your volumes if you're at headphones or at work or sneaking behind the boss or trying to be secretive. So all right, here we go. So now that I have that, yeah, it is, it's long. So now that I have that basic diameter turn, what I did was I started a part right here. So this is going to be the foot end of my pen. Yeah, Dan, you got a mean boss like me. All right, and I know it's going to be a classic foot, so I'm going to start with putting the foot shape on it. Okay. And the next thing I'm going to do is turn in the grip area of the pen. And I slowly do this. I don't know if you can hear me talk while I'm cutting on the lathe. And work it until my caliper slides over it. Cool. Alright, so there, my caliper slides over it. So I know that's the grip size I need there, and the larger dimensions already. So now I'm going to work it out and smooth it out. And when I do these dimensions right here, I go just a hair over. Well, that's what I was just getting ready to, I have, but I try to do this just a hair over so I can sand and everything else. So it's usually like a little bit less than a 32nd of an inch in size too large. From there, I'm going to have to work around this tripod here, so bear with me. Let me move this back. Hold on. There we go. Sorry for the ride. Alright, I take a skew and I start my shape with a skew. And that's just to give me a visual idea of the shape. And the rest of it I do with the gouge. Once I start getting that shape, this is the way I determine. So this pin is going to have a hump midsection right there, the way I determine that to make sure it's going to be out of the way of people's hands. I have really large hands, so I know if I place it behind my hands, my size of hand, it's going to be good. It's going to, no one's hand should hit it and get in the way. So I put that mark there. There we go. So I know that's about where the hump is that I'm going to want, that midsection hump. Yeah, small Asians have no problem with my hands because they're huge. Okay, so there's the basic shape. Be a way to focus this in. Okay. Yep, large hands makes it easier. Okay, so we got the basic shape of the grip area. So as you can see, this is where you're going to hold the pin. A chuck isn't absolutely necessary. I worked with a spur center for a long time. I like a spur center. And until I got this Robert Sorby Patriot chuck, I didn't like a chuck, honestly. It's personal preference. So, yeah, Sorby's good stuff. Okay, so now that I got that, I can get my hand around, we're going to start tapering the tail. I keep bumping. Hold on a second. Let me tighten this. My phone stand is a mic stand, boom stand, so I had to tighten it. All right, here we go. Okay, starting to get some tail shape. Next thing is length. I know this person wants a 7-inch pin, so I have this chopped off yardstick. And I come over here and I make my mark for the length. And when I turn it, I start to turn it down to diameter from that point. Leaving a little bit extra because there's going to be a finial. And usually what I'll do is I'll square it off. Bring this down a little lower, square it off. That's where I'm working with. So now I start shaping it a little bit more. It's going to be a mildly thin tail. Starting to get there, so now I'm going to start the basic shape of the finial. Which is that. Yeah, then I use my skew the wrong way. If you're a classic woodworker, don't watch what I do. Because our rules in doing this stuff don't apply, I think. What I boil it down to. Yeah, you have. How far would you be at this point, Eber? You'd be like pulling out your sandpaper right now, right? I should do a wet sanding special just for you, Eber. Show you how quickly we wet sand on the lathe. Yeah, he'd still be sharpening his knives. I know, us wood turners are evil. He'd be taking a nap. Okay, so there's the basic of it. Now, I'll start sanding. I start with 120, and when you sand, bring your lathe speed down. Reason is, it will make your sandpaper last longer, and the heat and moisture is what causes tails to warp. So the less heat you apply to a pin tail, and you know, the longer you make your sandpaper last, it saves you money too. So I use these little strips, and if you ever have strings on them, pull them off before you sand, because those little itty bitty strings can wrap around it and break the pin. So ebony, and it's going to be really dusty. Lots of black dust all over my hands. And this is the part where you start smoothing it, taking out all the marks from the chisels. I sand at about 2,000 RPM. What's Abro mesh? Is that like the stuff that's like this, but it's got holes sent through it? Okay. This is cling spores where I get it. Really good stuff. Lasts a long time, at least for sandpaper. Much better than those little pre-spooled kits they sell in the store. Really? That's crazy. That's crazy, Tim. Sometimes it does. It gets really bad if I can get, let's see if I can get the, there you go. How you like that, Moya? That's the one that gets to me. That noise right there. Sorry to do that if it's early in the morning for you. Okay. Okay, see you, Louise. Oh, after midnight there? Australia is the one that always throws me off what time it is there. I can't ever recall, you know, like, I guess you're similar to Southeast Asia time, right? Most of Australia, is that correct? Alright, so there's the basic shape of it. Now we just start working. Just take your time. Oh my God, turn it upside down. Okay, that's your pan, okay. Okay. Yeah, and that's the other thing, Australia's so large, there's probably many time zones. Yeah. And the finial I don't concentrate on right now. I concentrate on all this because I finish this first, and then I finish the finial last. So I just do some basic shaping to the finial. You know, any of this, if you're turning or new to turning, it's not really rocket science or anything. It's more just doing it a bunch of times. And anything, you know, you get a little bit quicker at it each time. A little bit more used to angle of attack of chisels and that sort of thing. And we're up to 400 grit now. this is my last grit before I seal the wood. 600. What did I miss, Heber? I heard. I missed it. Probably giving me grief. So there is your basic shape. He wants me to explode things. Oh my God. He's waiting for it to blow up on the lathe or something. All right, now the cool part. This is when it gets cool. I'm going to apply the... Is it? Dan, dude, there's only so many ways you can turn something round. You know what I mean? All blowing up on my lathe. Yeah. Yeah, this is CA. You know, I've been doing lacquer for a long time, and it's now to the point it's slowing me down too much. So I'm starting to CA most everything. I love lacquer, but CA is just because of time is becoming the way I'm going to have to do it. So there we have shiny blackness. No glove. Nope. I don't wear gloves because gloves are dangerous when you're working around a lathe. I'm not going to show you them how you do the foot, Huang. You're crazy. Huang spends like, the dude seriously spends like 30 minutes on the foot of his pin where I stamp it with the yoke stamp. He spends like 30 minutes polishing and making it perfectly smooth. He's nuts. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's beautiful and all, but oh my God. All right, so that's it, and then I just add layers of CA and then wet sand it out and get it off the lathe. I won't bore you with that part. Yes, he is OC. He's an OC on a couple things really, really bad. He is obsessive. I've got a HVLP sprayer. My problem is the mixing. You know, in most HVLP setups, you're mixing a bunch, Dan, and all the waste of the lacquer. I know people say you can throw it in the freezer or the fridge and all that sometimes, but the airbrush worked really well for the quantity because I didn't waste much material. And I still will do it on like my... If you want an exact replica of an antique pen, I'm still going to be doing my lacquer finish. You know, most of the time that's usually like nitro or something, but it's going to depend. Oh, it will stick on my hands. It is super glue. I'll show you what I'm doing. All I'm doing is I'm folding a paper towel over multiple times, and I wet the surface of this up here, and I don't actually touch it. So I wipe it on real quick and then toss that to the side before it heats up, because what CA does to hardness actually boil. Oh my God, dude, Dan, I don't do 50 at a time. Crazy. So, and CA will burn this and get it hot, and it'll start smoking, and it'll actually get in your nasal membranes and eyes and burn. And it's not actually burning your nasal membranes and eyes; it's just boiling the water in them. That's why it hurts. If you've ever gotten CA, the smoke that comes off of it on you, it's actually boiling the water and your moisture in your nose and your eyeballs. So that's why it hurts. All right, well, that's it for how I run through a custom, and then I'll finish it off, and I got one more to do for this person and finish this one off for him. So I'm done with you, Heber. I do about 5 to 6 coats of CA, and then I look at it, make sure everything's covered, and then when I think everything's covered, I do 2 more coats. So you can do ergonomics on a lathe, Heber. You just have to have an offset chuck. So Yeah, the two more. Always two more, because if I do it, it's not enough, and then you don't want to sand through your finish. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody for joining. I'm gonna finish up this pin and the other one for the person, and I will catch you next time. I'm gonna try and start doing periscopes again more regularly. It's been kind of a crazy past few months. So, see y'all later. Bye.